That is awesome. Yeah, I love that time though, man.
Yeah.
That was I couldn't enjoy it
learned so
properly
much,
because I
dude.
worked so much too.
I learned how clueless I actually was about making comics. Like I had no idea about, like the boards and all the inking, all of that stuff. For some reason, I just was, even though I collected comics and all the names were in them, like the process for some reason just stumped me. I thought it was just, I had my own method of doing it, and I had to unlearn all of that to learn the real way to do it.
To learn the wheel, yeah, that was an eye opener. Like how they do certain things, like and then they really like taught you storytelling.
Absolutely.
And like,
but you know what, a lot of the stuff I learned, and for you as well, is kind of obsolete now because of digital.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And coloring, the way lettering, we used to letter by hand. That's not, really done anymore.
No one does that anymore.
It's good to have it under your belt and know it, but it's really like, when am I going to use that? But,
right, because it comes to like hand lettering and digital. You're going digital,
Absolutely.
It's funny to hear you guys talk about this, because I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting for radio.
Wow.
And in the same sense of like, I felt like I paid a lot of money just to learn about an industry, but not to be able to get a job in one. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think part of that is that, like with radio, unless I was committed to moving and going across the country or going to a market that could hire me where there was openings, my local DJs were the same DJs for 20 years. And they weren't going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right,
so it's
right,
like the job opportunities weren't there, even though I was trained for such, right? But then in turn, it actually, now that I'm thinking back retroactively, whereas the world's a different place and people are making podcasts and doing things like this now, that knowledge comes in handy, learning to edit audio, things of that nature. And then the same to be said for comics. I mean, look at what you guys are doing right here with a Kickstarter. There's more attention that are coming to Kickstarters that are out there than some of the new books that Marvel and DC are launching right now. So it just goes to show that it's like the power's now in the hands of the people, and you're not behind the gate of, oh, well, I can't succeed in an industry because there's legacy already there, not moving on, not moving forward. So, it's really cool to see how our educations at the time
now.
Our educations at the time wouldn't permit per se the possibility for immediate employment, but have come in handy down the line.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I would say that's definitely true. Like, I think if anything, it gives you a critical eye for artwork going to the Kubert school. It also helped you, like, even though we don't hand letter anymore, we still carry over.
I'll say it definitely informs what can be done today, having that knowledge, already.
Absolutely.
You.
Like, you know how to come
in with information already, whereas you don't come in blind, and you have that to work off of as like a platform. You know what I mean? So you already have that there. So it is good, even though you may not use it, or it may not be the way to go, the way it's being done now, but it is good to come in with that knowledge. Absolutely.
Right. And it comes in handy in other ways, like when you learn design and how to lay out a page and, things like that. There's all these little things that go into making a good comic. You guys all know. And like, at the time, I agree with you. At the time, I couldn't see it.
I hated all the classes except for narrative art. I couldn't stand cutting, pasting. I couldn't stand lettering. I couldn't stand animation.
Man,
the only homework I did and I cared about and I put 100% into, unfortunately, was my narrative art stuff. And I busted my ass on that. The rest, I would just, what they called hack jobs. I would just hack it, just turn it in. Hack jobs.
Now, here's a good question for you, Anibal. Did you have anybody from your class that went on to be a Marvel or DC guy?
Man, let me think.
I had one. I didn't know him personally, but Damon Scott was one of the guys I went to school with. He was he did Batgirl for a number of years.
Oh, wow.
The one with the Batgirl when she had like the quiet one, the one that wouldn't talk, that had the face mask over her face with no eye holes. You know which one I'm talking about?
The whole thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So he was the artist on that, and he had like a really cool style. Like I
can't think of any names now, but I know a couple of the guys have done like, kind of what I do. Like they freelance. They've done a lot of like indie work. But there's some guy. Oh, there's one dude I can definitely remember him. His name is Lucas Colshaw. He's out in Hollywood. He's a what do you call it? He designs, like, he's done like video design stuff for like Lady Gaga and like these big names.
Wow.
like a production artist, I guess. Kind of,
Yeah.
he's done that kind of work. So
that's
he's like
cool.
one name that popped into my head. Right, there's a few of the guys I went to school with that are doing big things though.
That's cool.
For Me is about to take you on an incredible journey into the realms of science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Interviews with writers, filmmakers, artists, and actors. Conventions and fandom. Previews and reviews of movies and television. Sci-Fi For Me is working to be the most popular science fiction magazine in the solar system. Subscribe now and enter the fantastic world of Sci-Fi For Me, delivering the multiverse since 2009.